Hi everyone, my name's Alison Bartolo. I'm a diamond leader here in Australia, and I'm here to talk to you today about how to help other people onto doTERRA's loyalty rewards program, the LRP. So actually initially as a doTERRA customer, I was really skeptical about LRP. It took me 9 months personally to set it up. I didn't like the idea of them having my credit card details. I didn't like the idea of stuff coming, and I didn't know if I'd be able to use it and all those sorts of things. So I really understand when other people have hesitations around setting up LRP, and I'm going to show you how I have changed my energy around that. So I'm just going to share my screen. So I'm just going to share some stats with you from last year. So I did Diamond Club, and here in Australia, Diamond Club runs from February to May. And in the February, I helped 31 people enroll into doTERRA. That's not personal enrollments, that's within my team. And you can see that next number 2. 2 is the number of people that I helped onto 100-point LRP at the class. Then in May, you can see that actually increased to 56 enrollments during the month of May, and 40 of those set up LRP of 100 points or more at the class. So really, it shows more than anything that Diamond Club is the tool that helps you really nut out what of how you're going to do doTERRA. So I'm going to share with you my ways, my things that I found along my journey. But by doing Diamond Club, you're going to find what really sits right with your body. So if you ever have an opportunity to do Diamond Club, then really it is just magnificent in terms of you finding your way. So just as a little stat here, that shows a 6.45% conversion to 71.4%. I love stats. And there you go. So this is very much what my energy was like about LRP for ages. So all these thoughts that you can see on the screen from it's so complicated and they won't be able to afford it, and all the things that I had in my body certainly were translating in terms of my energy, the way I was holding my body, the way I was using my words. And now my energy is very much like this. I don't even know if you can see all that because I think my little face will be in the way. So anyway, LRP is the best. Seriously, I get so much free stuff, and I really love being able to show other people how they can do the same. And then just knowing that they'll be able to be using the oils every day, their kids will be using them. There's just so many amazing things about it. So I'm going to show you how I shifted my energy. And I'd like you to really think now about yourself, like where's your LRP energy right now? How do you feel? Like sometimes we have a little bit of both, and that's totally fine. But the more we can shift to just generating that excitement, it's going to help us. So there's a really great tool in the new Empowered Success guides that are here in Australia, and it's called the Power of LRP. And this is really great little sort of checklist for you to make sure that you understand all the benefits and that you're setting it all up right, or if you're helping a new builder to understand it as well. So just keep an eye out for that. This is a beautiful quote by Andrew Donovan, who is like a doTERRA god. So he says, your ability to help people onto LRP is contingent on your belief in the benefits of LRP. And I just think this is so, so crucial. It's so key. My energy has so shifted since I understood truly within my body and my soul all the actual benefits. So we're going to go through some of those right now. So what are the benefits? And there are only benefits. We know we get shipping back on every order. We actually can earn points back for our purchases. They and us, we're going to get at least 1 free oil every month if we order over a certain amount. If they're a wellness advocate, they can actually earn money from anyone else who orders. And obviously the main benefit is that using oils regularly, so at least ordering 1 oil a month, means that they're actually using the oils and they're going to have such better health. So just looking at the shipping, did you know that you actually make money on the shipping? So here in Australia, it's $7.95 shipping, but you actually get 8 points back. Now, if you're going to redeem 8 points, you can buy any of these items here. That bath bar is $12. So you're paying, you're spending $7.95 on shipping, and you can actually buy something worth $12 with that. So even if you lived around the corner, we have people on our team who live around the corner and they still get it shipped because it's literally better for them. So yeah, just really let people know how fantastic the shipping is. So I know we're jumping out of order here, but I'm just going to moving on to getting sent free oils, and we're going to do a bit of a review of the last 12 months. So if you look from July 2017 to June 2018, these in Australia are the free oils, the product of the month. So whether it was 125 PV months, obviously just the normal product of the month, or for special 200 PV months. So these oils do not include hangovers, that's probably not the right word, extensions. So we know, say for example, in December, frankincense is free with a 200 PV order. and they actually extended that through to January the 15th. So you could have got that again. So I'm not including those extensions. Does not include BOGO oils either. So this is just our baseline free oils. Now, if you actually look at the value of these oils, this is per month, and the total of that is actually $637.87. I think it's a 7. It's under my face, sorry. So that's a huge amount of money. That's a huge amount of free oils that you're sending just for doing those baseline orders. So let's move on to earning points back for our purchases. So we're just looking at those exact same orders, and if we start, this is starting at 10%. So this is a brand new person who's just started with a home essentials kit or an essential collection kit. We know that if they actually start with a nature's solution kit, they're actually going to start on 15%. If they've started with an oil sharing kit, they're actually going to start on 20% rewards. So and then you, for yourself, if you've been in doTERRA a while and you're already on 30%, then this is going to be so much more for you. But this is just an absolute beginner doing these orders. Then that total PV or points they're going to receive is 366.75 PV. That's a huge amount, and actually for those of us who are on 30%, that would be 636 points that we would be receiving, which is amazing. So what does that 366 PV for that beginner look like? It could look something like this, and the value of that order is $544.50. So I just want to put that together. We're getting $637.87 worth of free oils with our product of the month and our 200 PV specials, and you can get up to $544.50 products redeemed with your points for an absolute beginner. That's a total of $1,182.37. That's just insane. So the minimum you could spend for that would be literally just over $2,000. So that actually works out in this particular example to be 56% more back. You know, they're spending $2,000, but they're actually getting $3,200 and something worth of product. So it's a 56% increase that they're getting back. So this is like, just to put this in perspective for you, this is like going into a cafe and ordering a milkshake. But this is a doTERRA cafe, so they're going to come out with something like this. Like, how exciting is this? And it's a bit like, say, thinking that you're pregnant with twins and then going into labor and popping out 3 of them. But remember, in this example, it's actually 56% increase. It's not just a 50% extra. So we're going to give this family a little hamster as well. So anyway, the point is so incredibly generous, okay? And I actually use these 3 words, so incredibly generous, when I'm speaking about LRP. And the person I'm speaking to doesn't need to know all these figures and stats that we've been through. But I hold the belief of that in the cells of my body. I hold it in my voice, I hold it in my body, and that is what's going to come across in my LRP energy. So jumping through to earning money from anyone else who orders. So this is a fantastic opportunity to actually bring up the business opportunity or the sharing and hosting possibility with someone. So if we let them know that that's an option, that they can actually earn real cash, not just points, and if that's something that sparks their interest, then this is a great gateway for you to be able to open the business opportunity to them and really feel out if that's something that might be right for them. And using oils regularly equals better health. So this is my favorite one. So really, so I've jumped ahead there, but this is what we're going to be talking about. So when do we want people to set up LRP? Hopefully you know that it's actually at enrollment. So when they set it up in their first month following enrollment, there's going to be so many benefits for both you and them. So we're going to look at those right now. So firstly, their engagement in doTERRA is going to be so much higher. You've got them while their excitement is high, not got them, but you're helping them while their excitement is high. So they are, number one, if you've already set their LRP up in your class, then when that welcome email comes through, they're going to make sure they read it, because they know in the back of their head there's more money coming out of this. That, you know, they're invested financially, they're invested mentally. It means you're going to have a much more meaningful wellness consult or a membership overview, whatever you call it, when you actually follow up with them. They're going to be engaged. So they just get it. They get it. They start researching what oils they might like to put in their order. They start, you know, they buy the resources. They get them on Essentials Book. They just, they want to know more. So they start making it their priority. And of course, with all the above, their experience is just going to be so much better. So when somebody is on LRP, it means that they're actually using their oils. What I find is that someone who just buys a kit and then never orders LRP again, I haven't done my job. I haven't changed their life. I haven't impacted their daily health. and therefore my life is less meaningful. So I'm in this to change lives. That's why I'm doing doTERRA, because I really see it as a way to change the way people feel about their body. And I'm in it to help people bring empowerment, like the power back into their own choices about their body. And I know that if they've got their oils either in the diffuser or on their body every day, that, and you know it too, if you're using oils every day, you know the difference in that. You know when someone is using oils on a daily basis, that their life is different. And that's what I'm here for. So for me, being on LRP, for my team to be on LRP means that I'm no longer a salesperson. If I'm going around and just selling kits, then I'm literally just a salesperson. That's what I'm doing. I'm good at selling, but I'm not actually making that impact long term. So in Australian enrollees with LRP set up in their following month, I'm not sure what the word is there, they generate 2.6 times more volume in their first year than not setting it up just in that first month. So even ones that set it up in the second month, it's not as high impact. So it's 160% increase in your overall volume. Imagine if you could increase the volume of your tree by 160% in a year. That is absolutely huge. And just by helping people onto LRP in that first month, it's going to actually produce those results for you. It also means that they have 4 times better retention. So they are 4 times more likely to stay with doTERRA forever if they actually set it up in that first month. You obviously are going to get more fast start, which is fantastic. So long as you're within that 20, 10 and 5, then obviously you're maximizing the amount of 20, 10 or 5% that you're going to be getting as opposed to the uni level. And here's an amazing fact. They are 29 times they have 29 times better retention if lifelong vitality is in their initial order. This is like a magic number. You can see it's 4 times better retention if they set up in their first month, but 29 times if lifelong vitality is in that. Like, that's a huge, huge increase. So we're going to have a little look at that. So looking at lifelong vitality, really, I think a lot of people get caught up in the sort of science behind bionutrition and all this sort of stuff, and you just don't need to. You just seriously need your story. So tell people what your story is. How did you come across lifelong vitality? Were you skeptical about it? I was. And what happened when you started taking it? Like, for me, nothing actually happened for about 3 weeks. And I tell people that, and then I explain the difference. I explain the difference in my energy, the fact that I stopped falling asleep with the kids in the evening. I literally got my evenings back. Like, what a massive gift! Like, how much would you pay to have like 4 or 5 more hours in a day? Like, it was just so good. So just speak from your heart. Just take them, or hopefully you are already taking them, and then you will be able to have your LLV story. So we are so lucky in Australia that the lifelong vitality are actually TGA approved. So we can actually make claims about them. And this is a great way to really showcase some of the health benefits of doTERRA in general, and being able to actually use some language that we're not allowed to use with the oils. So make sure that you're up to date with what they are. So you can look at these bit.ly links for the PIPs, the product information pages on each of the different supplements, or you can just Google search it. Just make sure you're searching the Australian ones if you're in Australia. So make sure you're referencing their health concerns. People just want to know how it's relevant to them. So, for example, if I'm speaking to a bunch of people who don't have kids and don't fall asleep with their kids in the evening, it's not quite so relevant to them. So I might share more about my energy, or how my skin's changed, or how, other things maybe I'm not allowed to say. I need to check that. But just make sure you're referencing what they can do. I think pretty much any health concern is going to be improved by taking lifelong vitality. So it literally is the answer to everything. And remember, it's got a money back guarantee, 30-day money back guarantee. There is literally risk-free. They can try it. If they don't feel any difference, they can literally get their money back. So it doesn't get much better than that. So how do we help people onto LRP straight away at the class? Well, number one, we've already talked about it. It's your LRP energy. So if your energy is everything about how fantastic it is for them and all the things that we've covered so far, then that is going to be the number one thing. It doesn't matter what you say. You can say whatever you want, but if your energy is off, or you're still having some niggly thoughts in the back that it's not best for them, then that is going to come across. So just experience it yourself. Use your points. Show yourself when you get so much free stuff, and shift that energy. You can also show them how they can shift their shopping. So we like to educate our team about how they can either use the oils for DIYs or actually shift to the doTERRA's low tox products. So really showing them that they're spending the same money. So whether or not they spend it in the supermarket on synthetic produce as opposed to spending it with doTERRA on low tox produce, and it's getting delivered straight to your door. So you can really show people the difference between spending their money over there versus spending it over here and receiving all these rewards for it as well. So really make sure you're looking into the anchor products and mentioning through these throughout the class. So whether it's the skincare range, I mean the Barrage, $100 for four of those, for the 4 skincare products, that's insanely good value for a beautiful plant-based product over what you might be buying at the pharmacy or wherever people buy it. Shampoo and conditioner, we've obviously got the lifelong vitality. Have the hand wash in your bathroom, have the toothpaste sitting there as well, have things around. Like I'll often pop a peppermint beadlet while I'm giving a class, and people are like, oh, what's that? So you just use them, have them on you. You can put a bit of Intune on your neck before you start the class, and just show people how they can be using things literally all day just in their daily life. So what do we actually say? What words are we going to use? Well, no matter what you say, make sure your energy is good, and make sure you're expressing real values. It's not even the cost, it's about the value, and make sure you're keeping it simple, because it can get a bit complicated if you don't keep it simple. So my number one top tip is actually to never say LRP. I never use the word LRP or letters LRP. I just call it a monthly order, because that is so much more descriptive for them. They're going to understand straight away what it is. It doesn't feel so foreign or something that they may not understand or belong to. And this is a really, really boring slide, and I apologize, but these are the exact words that I use. So you're welcome to take a screenshot and store this, but I'm just going to read through it. So these are the words I say. So once you have a doTERRA account, there's something a bit special you can take part in. It is completely optional. It is something you can start and stop at any time, and that is doTERRA's monthly order. So what this means, if you choose to take part, you do need to order something each month. You choose exactly what you order and exactly when it's shipped. And then I express my vulnerability here. So I say I really didn't want to commit to ordering monthly when I first discovered doTERRA. But what I came to realize is that I could replace what I was already buying at the shops with low tox alternatives delivered straight to my door. The commitment from you is only one thing a month. You might choose the toothpaste one month, or the shampoo and conditioner, or you may like to try a new oil or replace one you've run out of, or it could just be a lip balm. But once you remember, we'll continue to teach you ways you can make easy switches from synthetic to low tox, just so you can start to shift your shopping. Okay. We then move on to the PV, or the point value, and explaining the points. So the reason why most people who do have a doTERRA account do choose to do so, because it is so incredibly generous. There we go, there's the words. And it's based on a point system like frequent flyers or Woolworths. So then we're going to give an example. Pardon me. Here we go. So I usually say, do you know if you spend $2,000 and collect 2,000 points at Woolies, do you know how much you get off your shopping? And someone always knows. And they'll say $10. I'm like, that's right. Well, with doTERRA, if you spend the equivalent amount, do you know how much you're going to get off your shopping? And then we're going to reference that $544 that we saw in one of those early slides. So we said $544 off your shopping. That's just in your first year. So it's a massive difference. And here's an example for you. So you might like to give an example. For me personally, I'm now getting 30% back. So it grows over time. So if I place a 100-point order, I'm going to receive 30 points. That's 30% back. Plus I'm going to get $8 points shipping back, which equates to 38 points that I can spend any time in the next 12 months. So I place 100 points, get 38 points back, and I can get something like a couple of oils, a lip balm, and a hand lotion for that. So I let them know that points are like doTERRA dollars. So for every point you spend, you earn a percentage back. And this last final point on the slide here is really important. I used to sort of just assume that people knew, well, if you collect points, then you can use those points to buy things. But actually a lot of people are like, well, what do I do with the points? So actually I explicitly say this. So you can use your points that you earn to pay for more oils or products. It's really important that you say that. So the most important thing, or one of the most important things, is that you really actually sit with each person individually. So if this is a class, or you may be setting up LRP at a wellness consult, and that's totally fine, as long as it's happening immediately after their enrollment. And there's a number of things that I do to really support me talking to this person. So number one, I use note paper. So I hand around note paper at the very start of each class, and I encourage people to take notes. And the reason for this is because they tend to forget by the end of the class what was important to them. So it may be that gut health was, they're having tummy troubles, and they might write down Digesten on a piece of paper. But then by the end of the class, they might not even remember what Digesten is or what it does. So I can help them with their notes and actually identify what some of their health priorities are. I really use the information they've shared on the note paper and also in person. So at the start of each class, I do go around and ask everyone to introduce themselves. I ask them to keep it to just a sentence or two, because otherwise I'm going to be there a little while, and I just ask them to share their name and what they'd like to get out of today. And usually I find a number of health concerns will come up as we go around, and that again, I take notes on that on my sign-in sheet next to their name so that I've got that information, and I keep that for a wellness consult as well, so I can really remember what their main needs were when I'm following up with them. I ask them to use the price list as a wish list. So I've got one here, luckily. So I'll say to them, I show them this right at the start of the class. I don't wait till the end, and I show them that they need to look at the bold column, which is the wholesale prices, and say, sometimes we've got the single oils like lemon and peppermint. They probably know what they're going to smell like roughly, but some of the blends are a bit more tricky. Like they might have funny names like On Guard or Digesten or Ice Blue, and they might not remember which ones are good for which. So they can use this to actually annotate, put love hearts or skull and crossbones if they don't like the smell of one. And this is for them to keep forever. So I explain how doTERRA works, and that they'll have a membership, and that they can build their collection slowly over time. So they don't need to buy everything at the class today. And you often find people sort of really relax when you say that, like, oh, okay, I'm not going to be up for hundreds of dollars right now. And that really allows them to start thinking basically about LRP. They're thinking, right, okay, how might I be able to spread this over time? So that really helps to be able to identify that and let them know that they can keep this. We also look at the wellness ladder, but with the new Empowered Success sheets, they are not on there, but on the old sheet we have this wellness ladder. And I do like to go through and ask them to score out of 10 those different categories, and then say which of those would they most like to improve the score on. Now with the new Empowered Success sheets, there is a beautiful section that asks how they're feeling. And what does it say here? I've got it here. So I want to feel less and I want to feel more. So whether or not you're using the ladder or whether or not you're using this new section, I don't know if you can see that, you're going to be really able to identify again what their needs are. So whether that's helping them with their enrollment order or whether helping them with LRP or really working out what's going to be the best for their budget in terms of splitting that, that's really going to help you. Obviously using the anchor pot products that we've spoken about, so knowing they can literally replace stuff that they're already buying, shifting their shopping, so continued education about that, literally talking to them, but more listening. Ask questions. The best results are produced from asking questions over telling someone what they need. So offer the resources. We'll often have 4 or 5, 6 people around the table. As I'm sitting with each person individually, I'll put out things like the Modern Essentials books, the Emotions books. They are fantastic. People are always drawn to that. And the Emotions wheel is incredible. So I just have I just printed some and laminated them and have the positive and negative emotions on each side. And I've just got those on the table. And people are so drawn to them and they really, really love looking at those. So have things out on the table, just beautiful books about the oils or, whatever interests you. And they'll start looking at that while they're waiting. So I do get them to fill out the section at the back, the form. So here, I will actually say, as I'm coming around, in the meantime, just start filling in this form. So just put your name and address and your email, and I will then come and help you work out what's going to be the best thing to put on there. And people actually do. Maybe if you tell them to do that, they do that. That gives them something to do, and then let them know they can look at the resources. Obviously, if this is a wellness consult or a membership overview, you can actually be going through the Live Guide or the wellness. There's a beautiful sheet that literally guides you through exactly how to help them with LRP. So in terms of incentivizing LRP, this is something I do choose to do. You don't have to do this, but I did find it was something when I started offering a little gift for going on to LRP that it really did increase my conversion onto LRP. So I personally was doing the mood management kit, the mini little 2 ml rollers, which I'd put 2 drops in of each of the oils and just the rest with fractionated coconut oil. So the cost was pretty low, but it was a little bit fiddly to be having to do big days where I'd make heaps up. So we are now shifting to the Droply app, which is about $13 a month Australian, and you can gift that to as many people as you want. And I found people really love resources. I try not to give people oils generally, unless it's a little sample like that, because I find that, well, I want them to experience the benefits of ordering their oils themselves. So I'm giving them resources or tools, or, you know, aromatherapy bracelets or something that's going to support their oil journey is going to be so much better. Now, the protocol is to book in a workshop, wellness consult. A workshop would be good, a wellness consult or a membership overview at the class. So we're always booking in our next connection. So when we're at the class, we're booking in the membership overview at the class. And when we're at the membership overview, we're booking in them attending another class, or them coming along to oil camp, which I'm going to talk about, or we're always setting up the next meeting or the next connection that we're going to be having. So I find if I don't set up at the class our next meeting, it just doesn't happen. It is so hard to find a date when you're waiting for them to respond on Messenger, and it might be days, or they might not see it, and then they stop responding, and it's just awkward. So we just book it in at the class. I get my diary and we just pick a date. If you don't want people to be looking in your diary, which I have a little bit of an issue with, then you can just print out a sheet of days and times that you have available for wellness consults, and just let them pick one and put their name next to it, and that's a totally fine way to do it as well. But they're beautiful words that from Paul Ovens. The protocol is makes it sound like a sort of health and safety thing, like this is something that we do. The way I word it is, and now I'm just going to be giving you a call in about 10 days time, and I firstly just want to make sure that your oils have arrived. I want to make sure that you feel comfortable opening the box, and that will be an opportunity for you to ask me any questions you like. It doesn't sound threatening. Everyone books it in. I've never had any issue with it. Sometimes people don't show up, you know, occasionally it's really hard to, if they cancel or reschedule, but I would say, you know, over 95% of them do happen this way. So one little trick I have is that actually before, this is such a terrible picture, but anyway, before, as soon as I've enrolled them, I send them a text. And that text says, you know, I'm so excited to have you part of the team. Your oils should be arriving within 4 to 10 business days. I'm looking forward to our phone chat on, and then I repeat to them the date and the time that we've booked in for our wellness consult. And then I send them a link. I send them a link to a welcome video, and I send them this link to my LRP video. So the welcome video really goes through how to you know, well, firstly, how to log into their account, where to buy the books and the resources, where to buy bottles, what's the dilution ratio, what else does it go through? Like all those questions. That's the same for every person. There's no, you know, it's literally blanket the same. Instead of me explaining that to each and every person, where I end up doing a lot of the talking, which is not really how it's supposed to be, I actually send them that, and I send them this LRP video, which really explains LRP in detail. And I just say, you know, it'd be a great idea if you've watched these 2 videos by the time that we have our chat. Then I send them a reminder text either the day before or the morning of our call, and I just say, really looking forward to tonight. Again, just a reminder, it would be great to have watched these videos. And 95% of people who, by the time I call them, then they're like, oh, I've just finished watching the video. So I feel like, well, my job is almost done by the time they've picked up the phone, because I know that they know all this stuff. Just because, you know, just to even have that call, it's kind of like their homework. They have to have done it. And that means that on the call, we literally just go straight into them. I can ask questions. We can talk about their health concerns, their health priorities, how they wanted to use the oils, how they're visualizing using that. You know, what it is for them. What does it mean to them? It means we can maybe talk about the business opportunity. It just allows us to have such a deeper conversation straight away, and they feel like they know me because they've just watched my videos and I've been chatting to them. So they feel they're quite open by the time I call. So this is just a tip from me. You can either, you're welcome to share my LRP video, or you can make your own so that it's your face, and that's totally fine too. But this has really, really helped me. It's helped me with my time management, but it's also really helped with the education of my team. So community plus education, there we go, there's the education, does equal LRP. Literally, once you've passed that enrollment point, once they're already a member of your team, it is the community and it is the education that is going to keep your LRP rate high, or it's going to help people on who maybe were hesitant at the start, it's going to help them come along later. So if you take one thing away from this presentation, it's this slide right here. Just imprint it in your brain. So community can be in face-to-face, which we've started doing in our team, a monthly meetup for those people who are living locally. And I find that, you know, and this is one of the things that was spoken at Australian Convention, is that power of touch. And that's one of the reasons I love running face-to-face classes, is that we actually get to I hold people's hand and I drop the oil in. And to be able to meet up and actually see people, you know, people look so different from their Facebook profiles. The way they hold their bodies is sometimes so different, and sometimes don't even know who that person is, even if I've been chatting with them online. So that power, that energy, when you feel other people's energy in person, is just amazing. And you can encourage people who live in other areas to set up their own. So my amazing mum in the UK, she actually is the one who inspired me to do this, as she is doing this with her team in the UK. And I was like, we should be doing this, and it's absolutely beautiful. We've obviously got online communities, which is a really powerful way for busy parents as well, who you know, don't have the time to come to face-to-face events, but can just jump on the evening when the kids are asleep and ask questions in the Facebook group, or, you know, interact in or however it is you're choosing to do that online. So the educational aspect is really important. There's a few ways you can do this. I've definitely made a mistake in my journey, in that I felt like my Facebook group was just a place I was putting promotions, like, oh, this is the special this month. And then I was putting out on our Healthy Munchkins Facebook page to the public, you know, ways to use the oils. Well, kind of was getting it wrong, because the people in the group are the people that have the oils and need to know how to use them, and the people out there may not have oils yet. And so it's a great way for them to see how we can be using them. But these people in my group, they need that education too. So we're now making sure that we're pumping that information in there. And you can help. You can ask for help from your team. So you can ask them to actually contribute in there and share their tips and tricks of how they're using the oils, and help bring that educational aspect to the whole team. And we found that once we did that, we actually created a roster for a while, where every day somebody would post, and it just meant, you know, everyone was posting sort of once a month or once every 2 months, you know, just one thing. But the people who weren't, so that was something we asked of our builders and sharers in our separate group. But then our oil lovers in our main group, they sort of just saw that people were posting inspiration, and they just thought, oh, this is where we post our inspiration. And they started doing it too. They were just posting their recipes, and it really changed the vibe of the group. So that's a beautiful way to be able to do it. So one of the most amazing ways we have helped educate our team is with Oil Camp. So Oil Camp, you can look it up online, Oil Camp Academy. It goes through, it's done on Facebook. It's a Facebook event that you set up specifically for a group at a time. So we run this every month for new members, and old members as well are welcome to join. And we go through an oil a day, and we really educate not only about the oil, but then the ways that we use those practically in our homes. And it's based on our own team and our leaders sharing their top tips in a really natural, genuine way. So if you haven't got Oil Camp in your team, it's really worth having a look at it. It's probably around the level of gold is a really good level to be setting that up. So if you're not at gold yet, then maybe reach out to your upline and see if that's something that you could invest in as a collective team and work together for that, because it literally has made such a positive impact on the amount that people are using their oils, which is what it's all about. So as an example, this is very extreme, but one of the first camps we ran, there was a lady who was ordering 5 PV a month. I think she really liked the toothpaste, and she did Oil Camp, and her next order was 394 PV. So it really does just show people the potential of what they can replace in their homes. I can't rave about it enough. So another top tip that we do, we run LRP Club in our Facebook group every month. So you can choose whatever the giveaway, you know, the gift might be. Now, for the way we choose to do this is that we choose anyone can enter, and their LRP can be any amount, but it does need to have been placed by the 15th of the month. So really showcasing the value of placing before the 15th of the month. Then we also find if a BOGO or something comes up in the second half of the month, they're likely to spend more in that, you know, and then use more oils in their home and have better health. So this is open to every member having it done by the 15th really helps us to track our volume and focus where we need to run classes or do one-to-ones, or maybe, you know, just work with the energy in particular legs. But this really gives high energy and engagement to the group. So we find when we put it, we ask them to do hashtag LRP Clubber. So once you've processed your order before the 15th, just comment LRP Clubber. And we find then people are going LRP Clubber, LRP Clubber, and there's all these comments, you know, one after the other, and there's, you know, literally hundreds of comments. And for those who aren't on LRP, it does normalize LRP, and they can see, well, there's literally hundreds of people that do this every month, and these are just, you know, normal people that are here in this group with me, and it really makes it maybe feel not quite so threatening and not such a big deal. So we found that it's been a huge success in the group doing that. And I know other people do variations on this, and take this however you want to. And I know some people do for a certain amount. So if it's, you know, up to a 50 PB order, there might be certain giveaway, and if it's up to 100, then they might do more generous giveaways. And obviously it's just a draw, so you're just investing I'm just investing those 4 things a month, and it doesn't matter how many people take part. I'm going to be giving away that to one person, and we just do a random giveaway at the end of a month, well, after the 15th. So here's a summary. We've reached the end. So LRP is fundamental to your business growth. If you are just enrolling people with kits, you're not building a residual income, you're not building a pipeline for yourself, and you're not having impact on people's health and wellness. LRP is so incredibly generous. I hope you feel that now. Your LRP energy will equal your LRP retention. Lifelong Vitality is a winner. A wellness consult or a membership overview is absolutely critical. The continued education and support is also absolutely vital. It's all about the community and the tribe that you're growing, your energy that you're putting into that as well. Let people know how they can shift their shopping, and just listen to people, ask questions, and get to know them and see how you can best serve them. That's what it's all about. And enjoy. That's it. So thank you very much for staying with me. If you have any questions, you can just pop them below. Thanks. Bye.